welcome back to the Patchwork Quilt. Today we're going to be making some Valentine's decorations because it is January, middle of January, and Valentine's Day is coming up, so why wouldn't you make some Valentine's decorations to make your house pretty? So before we get started with our actual craft, let me give you your list of supplies because I like to try to do that. So if you don't have everything you need, you can go ahead and gather it up. We'll pause the video, then gather it up, and then come back here and you'll be ready to go. So you need some of these wooden cutouts from the Dollar Tree. You need some of these shish kebab skewers, also from the Dollar Tree. You are going to need some paint, so I got some red and white paint here. Coffee filters, you're going to need some coffee filters. The normal stuff, you need scissors, glue stick, Ooh, you're also going to need some pipe cleaners, so get you some of these together. And did I say glue sticks? I did say glue sticks. You're going to need to get you some fabric, and of course you're going to need a cup of coffee because everything's better with coffee. So grab you a regular cup of coffee and also grab you some instant coffee because we're going to be staining our wooden cutouts. So make you a cup of instant coffee, make you a cup of regular coffee, and then we'll get ready and get started. Oh my goodness, you gotta love coffee. It makes everything better. All right, if you got all your supplies together, we're gonna get started. Need a little bit more coffee. So I have my wooden cutout and I'm gonna take the tag off of it. I'm gonna leave the little jute string that I've got on here. And then I also have this coffee mixture that I actually made yesterday because I made some coffee stained hang tags yesterday. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this sponge brush and then I'm gonna just brush the coffee over the top of the heart. And this is actually going to stain it. So if you don't like using all those chemicals that are in the stains and varnishes and stuff like that, you can always use coffee, depending on if you like the color. If you don't like the color, then you can't really use coffee. I kind of like the color though. I think it looks pretty good. And I wasn't going to stain both sides, but I accidentally stained the wrong side, so we're going to flip it over and get the other side because this is the side you actually want to use. Now, if you like it painted, you can actually paint it, or if you like it plain, yeah, I guess you can leave it plain, but I prefer the color of the wood with the coffee on it. I think it looks really good. So that's what I'm doing, but you can do whatever you want to do. This is your project, not my project. All right, so I've got both sides stained up. And this actually works like regular stain also. If you want it darker, let it dry and then add another coat and it will be darker. Okay, now that we got that done, I'm gonna put the coffee stain to the side and I'm gonna hang this up to dry. And then while this is drying, we're gonna go ahead and get to the second part of our project. Get this down here. We don't need that anymore. Put that down here. Hopefully I don't knock it over with my feet. All right, so the next part of our project is we are going to be making some roses to go on our, it'll come together, trust me, it's a process. So for your roses, you're going to need your coffee filters. You want 3 of these. I'm using the brown ones because I have brown ones. So 3 coffee filters. And then I forgot a paintbrush, so let me go get a paintbrush and I'll be right back. All right, so now that I have a paintbrush, I'm gonna flatten these out to the best of my ability. And then we're gonna take our paint. And basically we're gonna dry brush the edges of these coffee filters with our paint. So, I mean, if you wanna paint the whole thing, go ahead. I just don't really want a lot of color, I just want a little bit of color. So we're dry brushing. Now I'm gonna make a red rose and a white rose, but I'm gonna show you how to do the red rose, because you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so I've dry brushed the outside of my coffee filter. I'm going to do all 3 of them. Let's go ahead and paint all 3 of them and then come back here and we'll go on to the next part. Okay, now I've got my coffee filters all painted up, and the whole time I was doing it, Alice in Wonderland was in my head. We're painting the roses red. We're painting the roses red. And I painted my finger also. But if that's not what you were thinking when you were doing this, you will be thinking it now. You're welcome. Anyways, back to our flowers. So now that we've got them all painted, we've got 3 of them here painted, we're gonna have to fold these. So you need to come in a little bit closer so that I could show you how to fold these. All right, so we want to fold these in half. Fold it in half. And then you want to fold this one in half again. In half again. And then one more time. So this is what 2 of them should look like this. So you want to fold 2 of them in half 4 times? 4 times, I think. Alright, you want to fold 1 of them in half 3 times. So 1, and then in half again. Make sure you get it completely in half. And then 1 more time. So you've got 2 that are folded 4 times, like this, and then 1 that is folded 3 times, like this. Now you need to get your scissors. All right, place them all on top of each other, because you want to get, you're going to cut out the middles right here, and you want them all to be the same. So we're going to cut just like this. All right, now one of these you're just going to leave. So, and I threw the other one. So leave the one. And now the other one, you're going to cut petals in the end. So just cut you some petals to make it look like a rose, however you want to do it. And then you also want to cut down just a little bit on the sides, like this. Ooh, might have messed that one up, but we'll see. And then your big one, you want to do the same thing. You want to cut your petal. And then cut down the sides just a little bit. Like that. Okay, so now you should have 3 coffee filters with holes in the middle. So one is gonna look like this. And then I'm worried about this one. I think I got it a little bit too far down. And you've got one, looks like this. I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. Salvageable. And then your big petals are gonna be your outside. It's gonna look like this. See? Okay. Now, what you need to do is you need to cut each of these in half because you only actually need to use half of it per rose. So I'm gonna cut each of them in half. Now, if you want it bigger, of course, use the whole thing, but still cut it in half because it's easier to work with if you cut it in half. And if I didn't have to show you how it was going to look, this would be easier. And also painted it. Oh, there. Now that I got the paint off, this is easier. So cut them all in half. Look how red my finger is. It looks like I killed somebody. All right, now that you've got all those cut in half, you need one of your shish kebab skewers. So you're gonna wrap this around. So the middle one is kind of hard to do, so I'm gonna cut this kind of in quarters. And then I'm going to put my shish kebab skewer probably about 1.5 inches away out my filter, and I'm gonna just start wrapping it. You want it to kind of resemble inside of a rose. So we've got that, and then we're gonna put our other one, start it in a different spot because roses are not perfect. Now I'm not using any hot glue, so don't use any hot glue until the end. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm going to take it off of this skewer. Okay, so now we've got the inside of our rose. And then we're going to take the one with the small petals and we're going to wrap that around. Kind of bunch it up at the end as you go. Because you don't want it to be too tight, because if it's too tight, you're not going to be able to fold down your petals. How's that? Look at that. How cute is that? All right, now we're going to do our big petals. Now, if you want to use all of the coffee filters, I really don't recommend that you use 2 on the inside, but if you want to use 2 on the middle layer, you can. Maybe. I'd recommend that you start it in a different spot though, because you know how roses do. Their petals are not all in the same spots. There's kind of a little bit of difference. But like I said, you don't have to use, you can get by with just using half of each coffee filter. So this is what we've got now, and then I'm going to put the big petals on at the very end. And I'm going to make sure that I keep holding it in on the bottom, because if not, it's all going to fall apart. Alright, so that's what we've got. And then I'm going to put some hot glue right here where I finished it. Just to hold it together. And I'm gonna burn the crud out of myself because that stuff is hot. That's why they call it hot glue. All right, so this is what we've got now. The reason I had you cut a little bit more down on the petals is because we're gonna fluff these petals out. So we're basically just gonna flip them out like this. Ooh, I'm struggling. You want to fluff out all your petals. And coffee filters work really well to do this with. I guess napkins would work too. Alright, look at that. Is that not pretty? That is the prettiest thing. And the reason that I didn't hot glue it to the skewer to start with is because I can pull this skewer out. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this out of the bottom like this because I'm not gonna use such a big stick, and I also want to put this down the center so that it moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue the pipe cleaner to the top of the stick, and I'm going to leave probably about a ½ inch sticking off the top. And I'm gonna let that dry. And then we're going to add some hot glue to the top of our pipe cleaner like that. Just a little dab. Cut this right here. So basically you want to inch a pipe cleaner on top of your skewer, then you're going to stick it down the middle of your flower. And let that dry. Alright, now that we've got flowers made, make you about 3 or 4 more of these in any color that you want to, because this is your project. We are going to move on to the next part of our project. The next part of our project is we are going to make a little stuffed heart pick to go into our finished project. So I've got this piece of red fabric that I cut a little bit wonky, and I'm going to be folding this up so that I can cut 2 equal sides, because if I cut one side at a time, it'll never work. I'll never get it there. So let's see. I'm going to fold this over this way and then over this way. I really didn't need this big piece of fabric, but it is what it is. It's too late now. Can't back out now. So scissors, and trying to figure out how to cut a heart. We're going to cut a heart. Not sure if I like this fabric. That should be pretty equal, but we'll see. All right, so we've got one piece, and I got another piece. See if they're the same. One of them is smaller. Don't ask me how I did that. I gotta fix it now. Alright, now I've got two even sides. So we are going to put some glue closer to my glue gun at the top of one side. Follow the edges. And then we're going to set our other piece of fabric. I'm lost, y'all. Like that. And then we're going to flip this back so we can continue. We want to leave a little opening at the bottom so we can stuff it. We're going to go around this way. And then around this way. So we get our opening at the bottom, and then we're going to close it up. Oh, I did it again. I burnt myself. Alright. So now we've got like a balloon here. Like so. We got a little opening there so that we can stuff it with our polyfill. Why don't y'all let me get polyfill? I forgot it. Let me get some polyfill and I'll be back. Okay, now I've got my polyfill. My heart's still wonky. It's bothering me. I'm going to stuff this up into my heart through the bottom where we left that opening. Alright, now I'm going to take a skewer, put it up through the back as best as I can. I'll bring that down some. And then I'm going to glue up the bottom. Alright. Got out of glue. My little glue gun. Make sure your skewer stays in the center. Now we've got a little heart pick. Ta-da! It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to all come together. All right, now that we've got our flowers made, we've got our heart made, now it's time to get our wood cutout out. Hopefully it's dry, and then we can put this whole thing together. So grab your wood cutout and then let's get it put together. Okay, so I have this leftover fabric from where I made pillows the other day, and I kind of want everything to flow because I'm anal like that and I like things to flow. So we're going to use this for decorations. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I want it, the lines going up and down or sideways. I feel like up and down. Let's do up and down. Yeah, my fabric's all wrinkled. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up where I want it on my heart, and then I'm going to cut that so that I can make a hem at the top. Alright, let me follow that line down. Let me just flip it over. I don't know, sometimes my brain doesn't work right, I swear to God. We're going to cut along this line. Okay, so we've got a square, kinda. Now my top is frayed, so I want to make a hem, and I'm gonna just use my glue gun to do that. So I'm gonna just flip it over about a 1/2 inch. Yep, about a 1/2 inch is gonna work, and then I'm gonna glue it. Move my heart out of the way. Let me move my heart out of the way. Sometimes my heart gets in the way. Need my glue stick. So I'm going to do my best to make just a straight line of glue. And that is going to be our hem. I'm going to flip it over and do our very best not to burn ourselves, because you know I'm infamous about burning myself. Alright, we've got that glued down. And it looks kind of straight. Not perfect, but it's pretty straight. I did a good job, I think. Now, get our heart back out, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a pocket. So we're going to run our glue around the outside. Probably come down a little bit more. And glue this to our fabric, and then we're going to cut around it. So first thing that we're going to do is put some glue around our heart. Might as well get both sides while I'm at it. And then we're gonna lay, I'm gonna fold it up, and I'm gonna lay it across the top. Probably shouldn't have put glue all the way around it first, but hey, you already know I don't do things the way I should. Some of my glue dried anyway, so that didn't work out the way I wanted it to anyway. Duh. Yeah, sometimes my brain just doesn't work the way it should. Alright, that side dried. Now we're going to cut around the outside of our little heart. Let's flip it over. Ooh. All right, so this is what we've got. Now we are going to put a little bit of polyfill down in this pocket. It's coming together, it's coming together. And make it look a little bit fuller than what it would be without the polyfill. Alright, so we've got that. Now we want to put some greenery in the top. And I have to get greenery because I forgot to bring it with me. We're going to put some pearls along the top. I have this can of pearls here. And to make sure that I don't hot glue, I'm going to flip this over, put it down in here so I don't get any hot glue. Alright, I got some pearls. I'm going to take this out and fix up my polyfill, and then I'm going to put in some greenery. So I'm going to shove some greenery down in here. Now we got some greenery, and I'm going to probably stick these bigger picks down on the back side some. Might I suggest you don't cut wire with scissors. That side. And then some down on this side. Oop, I lost that. Like that. And then we're going to put our roses in somewhere. Alright, so we got that, and then we're going to add our heart pick. Right there. Oh, what do y'all think of that? It's really cute. I think the last thing that I need is a hang tag. We're going to put a hang tag. Alright. Let's see, what we're gonna write on here. Let's write love. I'll put some hearts up here. Got deep down in this bag. I know this took us a while, but this was a pretty in-depth little craft, y'all. I'm gonna put it in there, a little stick. Oh. That probably did not work out the way I wanted it to. I'll put a little stick in here. And then we're going to hang our hang tag off of it. Look, so cute. And you could probably hang this on your door outside, but since it's made out of paper and it's been raining, I don't think so. I'm probably gonna hang it from my mantle over there. So, thank y'all for hanging out with me today, and hopefully you learned a couple of things. I don't know that everybody knows how to make these little roses, but make you plenty of them. Make them for everything. It's Valentine's Day. Make you some roses. I'll see you next time. Bye.